Hello everyone and welcome back to another build in Sims 4. This time we are building Carlo's cabin. Carlo Fierro and his wife Shirley are two nature enthusiasts that needed a house in Sims 4. There are two Sims I created. One is a very enthusiastic angler, and I decided to give them a house that has a little bit of an experiment, as you can see here in the basement. One is an angler, which is Carlo. Carlo is the angler of the pair, and he enjoys fishing. So I put their house right next to the river here, and I added in a bit of pool as a sort of an impromptu kind of a little pond, if you will, which also ends up in their house in the basement with nice little windows. I like that little effect. I love that. I love the fact that you can do that now without having to break the game, basically. I just wanted to go for a starter home. Shirley is enthusiastic with regards to plants. She's a botanist, or she's going to be a botanist when I play this particular pair of people. And I was messing with the roof here. The roof, I wanted to do this, but then I didn't. I was like, wait a minute, this roof isn't right, and I'm missing a couple of pieces, so I decided to redo that. But I still couldn't get this quite the way I wanted it, so a lot of fiddling here, as you can see. And eventually I just decided to go for a regular roof, but I had to just swap it around. There we are. So it looks a little better now. And it's going to be sort of like a cabin-like house, and with the wooden siding, as you would expect from a simple house in North America, particularly. And I do believe in Scandinavia you have a lot of these sort of paneled houses as well, with wooden construction. And even in the Netherlands we have a couple of areas, a couple of villages here that are sort of touristy, where we still have the old, as we call, Zaanse huisjes, and they have wood paneling all over the place, and they're primarily made out of wood as well. I might do a video on that type of house as well at some point. I don't know, maybe in the near future somewhere. Here I was fiddling with the colors. Was like, what kind of colors do I need? And anything would have, looked alright here. But I just couldn't get it quite right. And I was fiddling with it. And eventually I got to a point where I felt comfortable with my choices. So I wanted this little porch here. I like that. And then I started to think about windows. And that was also a bit of a gamble. I don't know. I picked the level 2 height houses, so then you get to different sort of options with regards to windows. And I eventually went with a setup kind of similar like then to this. There we are. And then I had to put a staircase in. That took a while because I wanted to have it in a particular fashion, to make sure that I had space for everything downstairs, as you can see. But things are, I just decided to, there we are, things are progressing here. I'm making the toilet here, decided to move a window to make that happen. And there's a little door to the toilet as well. Decided to get the raw toilet in, I believe, in different color setup. There we are. So something to relieve stress as well as their need to go. And I decided to add a little toilet roll there. Of course, you have to have toilet paper, TP in the house, or you're gonna lose. And I really had a hard time figuring out what to put on the floor there. The standard Maxis stuff doesn't offer you much. I've looked at mods. I haven't still taken the time to install stuff yet, but I might in the near future. I might. It was like, oh look, half walls, and I was like, no, they're too low. And this was sort of not low. It was alright. So There we are, like nice basic wooden trim there. And I started fiddling with what kind of wallpaper, and then I said like, well, you know, it has to be some sort of classic wallpaper with a little nature theme as well. So I went with the flowers here and the wainscoting in the bottom. It fit the overall theme. I decided to do the whole room that way. Sort of an open kitchen with living room, and of course kitchen has to have tiles. There we are. So there's tiles on the floor there, and the other part is going to be carpet. So there we are. And I decided to get the budget stuff because, well, all the other stuff was already pretty expensive. Fit it with the positioning, obviously. You want to put that right in the right spot. And this is all very basic. I do believe that I didn't put any bookcases in anywhere. So I was looking at, well, how should I position this window? Should I change it? I was like, no. The previous window was fine, actually. And then I realized that, well, you know, I might as well drop the window again, if I recall correctly. If I didn't, then, well, I didn't. But I recall thinking, not necessary. It doesn't have to be at the same height on every window, obviously. There's no obligation, but OCD is telling me to do it. It's like, no, I can't handle this. A little bit of a comfortable dinner setup there. So that's the sort of the kitchen area. And then, of course, you need a little bit of a couch. There we go. Some sort of optional options to put a TV on. And of course, I went for a wrong console. Here we are. And decided to go for not the little box, but generally mediocre television. I wanted to have at least something to have a hobby, and then I went for the little fish bowl. First the fish tank, then I thought, no, let's put the fish bowl in. What the heck? What do we care? And I decided to go with a matching little side table to the whole thing, and also add in some of these. There we are. There we go. Some nice some nice stuff there, and also a bonsai tree for the botanist. Obviously, you want to take care of trees and plants and stuff. You got to start somewhere. I decided to give them a digital camera. I have no idea why, but I did. There we go. So yeah, I've got some drapes in the form of, well, I think it's blinds, really. That's what I wanted to say earlier. Blinds for the more open parts of the living room. Not everywhere, just, you know, in certain specific spaces, and I was missing with the lighting here. And then I decided, well, then the bedroom has to be something special, as planned. I was gonna do this with the water bits, and to add some extra effect, I decided to put some lamps into the water. And once I could find them, there we are, the pool objects. And so that looks pretty cool, like these discs on the floor. They will give a lot of light at night especially, and it will shine right into the room, which is kind of cool. And I decided to put the shower in a little corner there and give it some extra space here. There we go. And yeah, this is about roughly the shape I'm creating. There we are. That's the walk-in shower. I couldn't put it, for some reason I couldn't put it in against the window. So I didn't. I just put it in like this. Obviously, if you're playing with this particular build of mine, I'm gonna put it on Origin under my account. Then you would probably be able to put something else in there if you wanted to. Like I said, my Sims, when they moved in, this building was sort of calculated on 20,000 simoleons or less, but my Sims got some extra money, so I was able to get a bookcase and switch around some stuff that wasn't as comfortable. I decided to go for a more comfortable bed, an extremely relaxing bed, because I was thinking, well, if you have this kind of building, you probably have an incredibly relaxing bed and such. And then eventually, I believe I toned it down a little bit, and I only had money left. As you can see, I'm already at 18,000 simoleons in the info panel at the top. And it's like, yeah, I can't do this. Still have to do the garden. Maybe I should get a cheaper bed instead. I was sort of contemplating that already. And here I was like, well, maybe I could put a computer here in a sort of a corner of things. That didn't turn out too well. Because computers apparently don't go on end tables very well. Which is sort of a shame. I really wanted to have... Oh, that didn't work. See, there we go. So... I really wanted to put the desk sort of under the stairs, but I couldn't. And that bummed me out. It's like, no. And here I was like, no, I need to get a cheaper bed. And then I decided to, no, well, you know what? This is fine. I'll take this. And we'll do this. There we go. So, that's that. And then I was like, wait, if I put it like this, I can throw in a nice desk. Something cheap. There we are. Something like this. Bam. There we go. And then I can put a cheap computer on it. At least let them have a computer. Doesn't have to be special. So there we are. And then I decided to put the lights in the back, because we're gonna have light from the pool bit. The parts that are... There we go. And then a little bit of a... Yeah, I decided to go for gravel. Gravel looked fine to me. I was like, yeah, gravel's free. That looks good. So there we are. Nice little gravel. Some trees, of course. Some plants. Something to start with. No rocks this time. There we are. Some nice flower blooming. A hedge. And then I was like, maybe not at the back. Maybe I should put flowers here. The oopsie daisies there. There we are. Nice oopsie daisies. That looked great. Decided to keep it. Put the hedge here on the side. There we go. And maybe like a little tree light right there. And there we go. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the video. And after this, you'll be seeing some stills, so enjoy.